Good day once again from the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, where at this hour the Orbit 2 team of flight controllers remains on console, vigilant as they watch over the systems of the International Outpost and prepare for the docking of a new resupply ship to the outpost coming up in just 34 minutes. We welcome you to our coverage of the docking of the ISS Progress 55 resupply ship to the International Space Station. At this hour, the Progress is within 3 kilometers of arriving at its destination at the International Space Station for a link-up to the Pirs docking compartment on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Here in the flight control room, the team is led by Flight Director Ron Spencer. Spencer and his team have been on console since about 8 o'clock this morning Central Time. They were on for the launch of the Progress. You see Spencer in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, joined on console by astronaut Randy Bresnik, standing up in the blue shirt. Bresnik is the spacecraft communicator who has been talking to the Expedition 39 crew aboard the International Space Station throughout the day. This team is working in concert with a flight control team halfway around the globe at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. You see this live view of the cavernous flight control room from a balcony camera. This is the team that's in control of Progress operations and has been since the Progress reached its initial orbit following its launch some 5.5 hours ago. This view is a live downlink picture from an external television camera on the Progress 55 resupply ship. As you see this cross-haired engineering overlay view that you have become familiar with all Russian vehicle arrivals at the International Space Station. Aboard the complex, the 6 crew members are monitoring the Progress's slow and steady closure for its docking coming up in about 32.5 minutes. The Expedition 39 crew, led by Commander Koichi Wakata, second from the right in this crew portrait, as Wakata from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency is joined from left to right by Oleg Artemiev, Steve Swanson, Alexander Skvortsov, Mikhail Turin, and on the far right, NASA flight engineer Rick Mastracchio. As mentioned, the countdown at the Baikonur Cosmodrome earlier today was flawless, no issues whatsoever, as the Progress and its Soyuz booster were poised for liftoff. The countdown continued all the way down to T0. The engine start and engine ignition culminated the flawless countdown, and liftoff occurred right on time at 10:26 and 25 seconds a.m. Central Time, which was 9:26 and 25 seconds p.m. at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The International Space Station flew directly over the Cosmodrome just about a minute and a half before launch, and the chase was on. Some 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch, the Progress reached its preliminary orbit after third stage shutdown of the Soyuz booster engines and spacecraft separation. All of the solar arrays and the navigational antennas were deployed on time, and the Progress has executed a flawless automated approach to the International Space Station since then, with all of its engine firings right on the money. No issues associated with the Progress's single-day launch to docking, this fast-track 4-orbit, 6-hour approach for a link-up to the Pirs docking compartment.
Velocity is 5.5, range is 1800. Copy. If there are no comments for Toro test, let's go to page 22. Copy and work.
Instructions being given to the Russian cosmonauts aboard the International Space Station. Mikhail Turin and Alexander Skvortsov are inside the Zvezda service module. They are at a control panel where they would, if required, activate the Toru system, the telerobotically operated rendezvous unit system, basically a joystick on a control panel with a television monitor that would be used in the highly unlikely event that the Corps' automated rendezvous system aboard the Progress would experience a technical problem. They could then fly the Progress in manually for a docking. However, everything continues to proceed in perfect fashion, with the Progress now just 1.5 kilometers away from its docking to the International Space Station's Pirs docking compartment. About 8 minutes from now, at a distance of just 400 meters, the Progress will begin a fly-around to precisely align itself with the Piers docking port. This will be a 55.8-degree fly-around angle, a rather long fly-around for the Progress to perfectly align itself and to begin a period of station keeping for just a couple of minutes at a distance of just 525 feet away from its ultimate destination. The Piers docking port was vacated on Monday with the departure of the ISS Progress 54 resupply ship that spent just 2 months at the space station's Piers docking compartment. It was undocked on Monday and backed away to a safe distance from the International Space Station so that Russian engineers could conduct a series of engineering tests over the next week and a half or so before that vehicle, now loaded with trash, is deorbited for a fiery reentry back into the Earth's atmosphere and its demise over the Pacific Ocean. Its job will have been completed. That deorbit is scheduled on April the 18th.
We'll wait till we get more stable.
This is also the start of an extraordinarily busy couple of weeks for the crew on board the station. Earlier today, Rick Mastracchio, Steve Swanson, and Koichi Wakata were involved in both the maintenance and replacement of hardware on one of the carbon dioxide removal assembly systems, a key environmental cleansing system aboard the International Space Station. They also performed a periodic scrubbing of the cooling loops on the extravehicular mobility units, the U.S. spacesuits, and the Quest airlock. That work is ongoing, along with the carbon dioxide removal assembly maintenance work, all designed to keep the International Space Station ship-shape for all of the intense work that lies ahead. While this approach of this resupply ship is ongoing, preparations are continuing down at the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station for the launch of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket next Monday, April 14th, that will send the Dragon cargo ship on its way to the International Space Station for a grapple and berthing just 1 week from today. The Progress now, as you see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, just 800 meters, 885 meters away and closing at a rate of about 0.3 of a meter per second. At the time of contact and capture, with the docking expected at 4:20 p.m. Central Time, 5:20 p.m. Eastern Time, the rate of closure will have slowed to an almost imperceptible 0.1 of a meter per second. The Progress that is arriving at the station is equipped and loaded with 2.9 tons of cargo. That includes 1,764 pounds of propellant, 105 pounds of oxygen and air, 926 pounds of water, and 3,126 pounds of dry cargo that includes supplies and experiment hardware and spare parts for the Expedition 39 crew. The International Space Station and the Progress are currently orbiting 260 statute miles, moving to the southeast of New Zealand, about to cross the South Pacific en route to a southwest to northeasterly track that will carry the vehicles up toward the west coast of South America, where we expect the docking to occur.
Mode and the operating mode is off now. Copy. We just recently moved from the night, and because of the changing day-night conditions.
The Progress is involved right now in a series of engine firings called impulse burns. These are very, very small mid-course correction burns to fine-tune the Progress's path to the station. And as we mentioned, we are expecting the fly-around of the station by the Progress to begin about 4 minutes from now. We are inside 600 meters from the International Space Station. Assuming an on-time and normal docking, just a few minutes from now, the crew will begin to wrap up its lengthy day and will begin its sleep period in a few hours. Tomorrow morning around 5 a.m. Central Time, Mikhail Turin and Alexander Skvortsov will begin the process of conducting leak checks between the Progress and the Piers docking compartment docking interface before they depressurize the small passageway or vestibule between the resupply ship and Piers prior to the opening of the hatch and the start of of the unloading of all of that cargo.
Probably will resume com at 23:58. If possible, please keep commenting.
The International Space Station continues to grow in size with the arrival of the Progress 55 cargo ship today. The mass of the International Space Station will be just about 903,000 pounds. After the SpaceX's Dragon cargo ship arrives a week from today, the mass of the station will have expanded to some 922,000 pounds of mass.
We can see the station. Then we have the parameter 1.7001. Copy.
We are currently in a handover between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system. We should be acquiring a downlink television signal routed through U.S. communications assets some 2.5 minutes from now.
Copy. For 405 meters, 1.4. Approach. Capture. There's 1.234 is there. Fly around has been formed.
Now receiving a sliver of downlink television. As you can see, the Progress has begun what amounts to a roll program to orient its solar arrays in the correct configuration so that it may dock without any physical interference to the Pirs docking port.
The velocity is going down, and we are damping the radial velocity.
Now the visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control, Richard Parker, confirms that the fly-around of the International Space Station has begun. Currently 355 meters between the Progress and the International Space Station.
The range is 32. Inaudible. Copy. Everything is nominal.
All the reports from the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov under the direction of Chief Flight Director Vladimir Soloviev indicate that all of the Progress systems are functioning perfectly.
Crew, there is a recommendation to provide more detailed comments. Our image has frozen. Yes, velocity is 0.69. Fly around. Capture 1.7101. Velocity is 0.66. Observing the vehicle. The fly around is with angular rate 0.2 in the pitch channel. Copy. And we're trying to see the cargo vehicle in the window. Range is 270. Velocity 0.62.
Just flying around.
Back with the downlink television signal through U.S. communications assets on the International Space Station. Once again, this view from an external television camera on the Progress resupply ship.
It matches the measured range. So per format for display 44 is 260. From course, it's about 200.
And there from cameras on the truss of the International Space Station, we had a momentary glimpse. The flight controller under the call sign of Cronus in the process of adjusting the camera so that we can get the view of the Progress, and there it is.
Range 244, rate
Once again, back to the Progress's view of the International Space Station as it approaches the completion of its fly-around and the start of a brief period of station keeping. About 10 degrees of fly-around remaining before station keeping is scheduled to begin. Less than 6 hours ago, this vehicle was atop a Soyuz booster on the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, now in the neighborhood of the International Space Station.
Roll alignment.
And the fly-around is now complete. The Progress is now just about 200 meters away from the International Space Station. A brief period of station keeping now underway, enabling Russian flight controllers in Korolyov to assess the precise alignment of the forward docking probe on the Progress with the Pirs docking compartment port.
Did not copy the crew. We're in the final approach and we are switching to the fly around towards the docking. The rate is 210 meters. The rate is 0.15. We are across from the SO docking compartment. Crew, we would like to recommend to send the manual command for the VPS and display 44. For the initial.
Standing by for the initiation of final approach.
The VPS initial is in work and display 44. We confirm. We see final approach in display 44. We see approach.
And about 6 minutes ahead of schedule, final approach has been initiated. Again, all automated. The command sent to initiate that final approach to close the gap of the final 200 meters that will bring a new resupply ship to the International Space Station. At a range of about 47 meters, just a few moments from now, the Progress will conduct a braking thruster test, and the commands will be sent to retract the core's automated rendezvous antenna.
We copy. 172 meters, 0.83. Docking target is visual. We have good visual conditions. We copy.
Progress now inside 150 meters.
A range 135, rate 0.82. We copy. I see that we have slowed down to 0.64.
0.64 indicating that the Progress is closing at about 0.6 of a meter per second. And once again, the braking through orbital mechanics and the automated program on the Progress will bring it to a glacial rate of about 0.1 of a meter per second at contact and capture.
Range 103 meters. We have a retrograde burn. 2.51.
Progress now inside 100 meters to docking.
Vehicle.
Flying 260 statute miles over the South Pacific, the Progress continues its slow and steady trek towards a link-up with the Piers docking compartment.
44 visually.
That docking port also serving as an airlock for Russian-based spacewalks out of the International Space Station, first launched in September 2001.
We copy. So we slow down the rate. Did not copy the rate. Range 73 meters, 72 meters. We have a good visual. The target is shifted to the left a little bit by about 1 degree. We copy.
The Progress 55 that is on approach for docking to the station will remain linked up to the Piers docking compartment until July 22nd, when it is scheduled to depart. The other Progress that resides at the International Space Station, the ISS Progress 53 spacecraft, is mated to the aft end of the Zvezda service module. It will undock on April 23rd for a 2-day back-away free flight, and then a reapproach for a redocking to the aft end of Zvezda on April 25th to test out some upgraded software modifications made to the Core's rendezvous system on that vehicle.
At 30 minutes in the automatic mode, 30 meters automatic mode. Send the command to allow. Okay, here you go.
Now just 50 meters away, we'll be standing by momentarily for the retraction of the Core's automated rendezvous antenna.
Visually, the range matches the measured range. We copy. 4. Range 40. 42. Expect the indicator for the SSVP status. We copy. For display of 44, we have the information. Information on the readiness.
Spectacular view over the Pacific Ocean of the Progress as it closes in for its link-up. The Core's automated rendezvous antenna has retracted as planned. Just before contact and capture, the International Space Station will be commanded to what is called free drift, the disabling of any thruster activity so that we do not perturbate the station's orientation during the time that the Progress's docking probe will slip into the docking port for the initial contact.
.45 meters range and point 14 for the rate. Approaching. The target is about 1 degree shifted to the left and from the center. Everything else is nominal. The approach indicator is nominal. The visual conditions are excellent. The lighting is great. We can see everything. Okay, we copy. We can see the vehicle very well.
The diamond-shaped object near the crosshairs on this engineering view from the Progress's TV camera is the docking target, to which the automated rendezvous program does align this crosshaired view with the docking target itself. That ensures the precise alignment of the docking probe with the Piers docking port itself.
.30 meters range and 0.14 rate. We copy. We confirm our go to continue work and send the command to work.
Everything going very smoothly with this automated approach by the Progress 55, now just 22 meters away from the Piers docking port.
Please confirm sending the увод разрешен command. Yes, we confirm we have 2 LEDs. We visually confirm closing the 2 antennas, and we see the roll visually as well. Okay, the roll goes away. Everything is nominal. The target is in the center of the...
Flying from southwest to northeast over the eastern Pacific in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. The International Space Station and Progress will be approaching the west coast of South America shortly, just 15 meters separating the Progress from its destination.
The depot in the cross channel activation and the cross channel. The crosshairs is probably less than 1/4 of a degree from the electronic crosshairs. 12 meters, rate 0.13. Everything is nominal. Nine, 10 meters, rate 0.14, roll selected.
Progress now inside 10 meters as we stand by for contact and capture of the International Space Station.
7 meters, depot. We have a rate at 0.17 meters, display 44 is nominal. All other indicators match the nominal automatic mode.
Good alignment, good angles, just 6 meters away.
Short burn of the depot in the cross channel for the -1 axis. We visually confirm that the vehicle is very, very close. We can see it very well. We copy. The target is nominal. The display is nominal. Range is 5 meters, rate 0.13 visually. The conditions match the nominal automatic final approach. We copy. On display 44, range is 3 meters. We are waiting for the contact.
Contact confirmed, docking confirmed at 4:14 p.m. Central Time.
We copy.
As the Progress of the International Space Station flew 260 statute miles over the eastern Pacific, just off the west coast of Peru.
Closure. The indicator mode has been activated.
A silky smooth 6-hour venture From the launch pad of the Baikonur Cosmodrome to the International Space Station, an automated approach in flawless fashion for the ISS Progress 55 cargo ship, delivering almost 3 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the Expedition 39 crew.
Visually, we monitor the hooks and we see the gap decreasing in size. We copy. It is possible that we will have calm dropouts. If we do not respond, then expect us to have...
And with everything else involved in the Progress's flight to the International Space Station, the hooks are reported to be driving to form a hard mate between the Progress and the Piers docking compartment. Once again, once hooks are closed, the crew will take a breather and will move into a period of leak checks tomorrow morning after they wake up, with the opening of the hatch to the Progress expected about 5 a.m. Central Time on Thursday. There's your configuration of the International Space Station right now. 2 Soyuz vehicles for the 6 crew members on board as their return craft, and 2 Progress resupply vehicles, a 5th resupply ship, another resupply ship, and a 5th vehicle will be arriving just 1 week from today at the International Space Station, that being the SpaceX Dragon cargo ship that is scheduled to be launched atop a Falcon 9 rocket from the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station next Monday afternoon.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Good evening. Yes? Hello? Maxilevich, we can hear you loud and clear. Okay, well, congratulations. Congratulations to your entire great team, Oleg, Nikolaevich, Mr. Ostapenko, Mr. Lapoda also wish to join me in my congratulations to you on this successful docking. This is a great present for the Cosmonautics Day. Okay, thank you very much for your nice words. Thank you so much for participating. It's been great. Everything went very smoothly. Yes, Misha, we have been watching, and it doesn't happen very often when we have such a smooth docking. Yes, it's true. Everything went great. Okay, well, wait until tomorrow, until 1500, when we can open the hatches. So right now you guys can treat yourself to some candy and go to bed. Sure. We are not teenagers. We know how to wait. I'm sure we can wait just fine until tomorrow. Okay, well, again, huge thank you and congratulations for the excellent work, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you for your nice words. Congratulations to everyone, because it was a joint activity, so it's great to see that our joint effort has been so successful. Thank you. ISS crew, this is Mission Control Moscow calling on Space to Ground 1. Go ahead. Okay, the telemetry confirms that hard latching is completed. You have our go to perform work per page 27, the Toru mode deactivation. Okay, we copy and we will continue reporting to you. So we turn off the control.
This is Mission Control Houston. Just to recap, a picture-perfect day for the ISS Progress 55 resupply vehicle, the unpiloted cargo craft that launched at 10:26 a.m. Central Time, 9:26 p.m. at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. A flawless ascent to orbit and a textbook rendezvous executed automatically by the Progress's computers. All of the rendezvous burns were on the money, on target, resulting in a docking that occurred just a few minutes ago at 4:14 p.m. Central Time as the Progress and the International Space Station flew 260 statute miles over the eastern Pacific just west of Peru. We now have confirmation that the hooks are closed to form a hard mate between the two vehicles. The crew on board the station, particularly the Russian cosmonauts Mikhail Tyurin, Alexander Skvortsov, and Oleg Artemiev, received congratulations from the head of the Russian Federal Space Agency, Oleg Ostampenko, and the head of RSE Energia, which is in charge of mission operations, that being Vitaly Lepota, offering congratulations on the successful launch, rendezvous, and docking of the Progress to the Pirs docking compartment just 3 days before the celebration of Cosmonautics Day, the very, very important holiday that is celebrated in Russia to commemorate the launch of Yuri Gagarin on April 12, 1961, who became the first human to fly in space, launching from the same launch pad that the Progress 55 began its journey from just 6 hours ago. Cosmonautics Day this year marking the 53rd anniversary of Yuri Gagarin's historic flight. So with that, we will wrap up our coverage with a couple of programming notes. Tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Central Time, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have a in-flight event for the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency that will involve Koichi Wakata, the first Japanese commander of the International Space Station, who has just a few weeks left on orbit. He and NASA flight engineer Steve Swanson and Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Tyurin, who Wakata launched with back on November 7th of last year, they will receive a congratulatory call from the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, along with other officials and U.S. Ambassador to Japan, Caroline Kennedy. They will be gathered at the Japanese Prime Minister's residence in Tokyo to provide a congratulatory call and a question and answer session with the crew about life and research on board the orbital laboratory. That in-flight event, again, at 7:15 a.m. Central Time tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. And that will set the stage for our Space Station Live broadcast at its normal time of 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, to recap all of the activities on board the International Space Station for the Expedition 39 crew. But for the moment, jubilation on board the station with a flawless arrival of a new resupply ship, the Progress 55, docking just a few minutes ago to deliver almost 3 tons of supplies for that crew. Until tomorrow, we wish you a good evening. This is Mission Control Houston.